Alright, so in this video we are going to install some parts. Well, a part. I've already ripped it open. You don't need that. So I want to show you guys this. This is a, I guess, a boost elbow for, or adjustable boost elbow for, in my case, an HE341. So basically this will replace the stock elbow that comes out, and then yeah, this is adjustable. So we're only hitting 20 pounds of boost, and we need to be hitting like 32, 35, something like that. So I'm gonna throw some Teflon on this and get it installed. All right, so I know it's dark. First thing I'm gonna do, get the intake off, and then I will show you down there exactly where this is at. All right, so right there, there's an elbow right underneath the turbo. I need to pull that line off and then unscrew that. I think that's like a 10 or something. Ignore the fact that the block heater is making noise. So yeah, I'm gonna pull that off, and let's see if I can just get that line off. Yeah, I'll stick a screwdriver in there and grab it. All right, so that really wasn't all that hard to twist. It's a 12 millimeter, so I'm gonna pull that off. You guys can see exactly what that is, so get rid of that. You ain't gonna need that anymore. All right, there you go. Some Teflon on that, and then we'll go screw it in. All right, so the screw on the end is it was like really loose, and you could only close this all the way. So we put some Teflon on, a lot of Teflon on that, so that I could like adjust it and it'll actually stay in spot. So we'll see how this works. Gonna go throw this on. All right, so you can see the difference between the two pieces there. So all you gotta do is just screw this in right down there. All right, and that's as simple as it gets. And then whenever you want to adjust it, here's an Allen key. Just take it down here and go in or out. So we'll check the boost pressures. Hopefully it's 32 psi, but we'll see. I'm gonna have to adjust in or out depending, so we'll do a couple wide open throttle passes, throw the intake on, and go from there. All right, you can see you can just barely get your hand down in there, but it is doable. Throw the Allen key on there, good to go. So I'm gonna head out, see how it does. All right, so as I said, I did get the part installed. I'm going to Indiana now to go pick up a trailer. So you can see my issue before was the wastegate actuator didn't work. So I was building like 40 some pounds of boost, and on a normal cruise with a trailer, I'd be sitting at 30 all day. Just 30 PSI constantly all day. I'd have to watch my throttle, otherwise it would go higher. Now it sits right around 20 PSI, or when I put the new actuator on. So now if I give it enough throttle, you can see just about 24 pounds of boost. Now obviously before, when it would only build 20, I could get it to go to 30 if I'd like really get into it. But obviously when I'm pulling trailers, I'm not going to be like really getting into it. So right now I'm gonna say that if I'm pulling a trailer up a steep grade, it's gonna hit 24 PSI, and that's gonna be where it's at before the EGTs get out of control. So that shows me that I need to go up front and turn the dial just a little bit. All right, so I pulled up. I have like 8 minutes of my 30 left, and I'm gonna go adjust the boost pressure. I got my Allen key here, so this will be pretty simple. It's cold out, so let's go do this quick. Golly gee. All right, I'm gonna adjust that off camera. All right, let's see what we're up to. That might be perfect. It hit like 32 and then came back down to 30. I'm gonna leave it there until we start pulling this trailer. All right, we picked up our next load, 65 pounds in the bags. Bumper pull, 39 foot, never seen one of these before. Still has the shitty tires. China bombs, but hopefully they make it and we don't have any issues. All the pressures are good. But for what it is, there is not a scratch on this thing. This thing's kind of like basic, but it's like neat at the same time. I don't know. We're gonna see how the boost does pulling this thing. It says shipping weight is 9,536 pounds and the GVWR is 10,160. So, awesome. Well, I'd say that's dialed in perfectly. Right there's 34 pounds, and then it backs off to 32, then 30, and then the EGTs catch up. So, turbo is where I want it. I'm happy with that. Now I gotta start playing with the fueling. So, all it took was a few micro adjustments of that little screw that was in the elbow, and we're perfect. And it's really loose when I got it. Like, it wasn't gonna stay in one spot. Like, it would have blown itself out unless you put it the whole way down. So you saw that I took a lot of Teflon and wrapped it around it. It's super tight now, so it's gonna stay in that spot. So now we just gotta start playing with the fueling. Maybe take some fuel out of it. Here's what we got going on. Definitely not cruising at 30 pounds anymore. Cruising at like 10 because, well, I was going pretty quick earlier, and now it's just like I'm gonna slow her down. It's getting pretty bad because I was doing like 60. There you go. Yeah. So service center's in 11 miles. It sucks. I missed the Loves, but I get like 20 more miles of driving in, so I'll take it. We drop in tomorrow at the Port of Maryland again. And I gotta go out and clean this shit, and I'm not looking forward to this, but we got work to do, we got fuel to get, and then we're gonna hit the road. Goodness! Alright, so we aren't doing much dialing today. The roads were really bad this morning, but I figured if FedEx can do it, because he passed me, I can do it. And FedEx drivers are just absolute terrible. I just climbed a decent grade. I was holding like 1,200 to 1,250 on the EGTs at like 28 to 30 pounds of boost. So I feel it's definitely pretty decent. I might play around with it a little more when the truck's empty to see what it builds while it's empty. I want to make sure it doesn't go over 35 when it's empty, but when I'm pulling, I'm not usually going much over half throttle. So at like half throttle right now, it's sitting at 29. But 1250, yeah, see, there go the EGTs. So that's just me. That's a little bit much on the throttle. So we're gonna climb a grade here. And I think this is about a 10,000 pound bumper pull. And we're holding 69. Yeah, not too bad. Like, I don't expect to be able to climb these mountains doing 70 miles an hour. I mean, it probably could if I didn't care about the EGTs, but obviously that's just asking for trouble, or if I got a decent running start. But there is a grade coming up ahead, so I'm gonna get a decent running start, like 72, and then we'll see where I end up. Oh wait, it looks like we should be able to drop off today. They said I had till 3:30 to sign in, and it's 1:37 right now. I gotta take a 30-minute break, and I'll probably have to fill up a bare minimum of 1 time. So, here we go. Decent grade, 28 pounds of boost, 1130, 1140, 1150. We're holding 69 miles an hour, 29 pounds of boost. I could probably up the boost a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'll give it like maybe a quarter turn. But we're sitting 68 miles an hour, 1210, 29 pounds. That seems to be pretty consistent. So we're holding like 1227 on the EGTs very consistently. I'm gonna turn the screw a little bit just to get a little bit more boost out of it, because like I'm climbing right now and we're at like 28. So I'm gonna try to get like 4 more pounds out of it. I think last time I did a half a turn. I think this one I'm gonna do a quarter of a turn. See if that works. It's amazing what a few extra pounds will do, because we're going up a decent grade right now. 71 miles an hour, 1170 on the EGTs, and 30 pounds of boost, which I'll probably leave it at that, because like this actually is pretty decent. 71, 1220 on the EGTs. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so I mean it's not like the steepest grade in the world, but it's still, you know, steep. And we're holding under 1220. There, we hit 1220. Yeah, so not bad. So we're 208 on the coolant temp, which is perfectly fine. So I haven't seen it hit 210 yet, so we'll see. I'm able to accelerate going up a mountain now instead of like slowly decelerating. So I'm sitting at 62 miles an hour right now at 1200 EGT, 206 coolant, and I'm there 63 miles an hour. So we're slowly accelerating, which is pretty good, but I gotta keep slowing down around these corners because it's like 28 degrees and raining, and it's really, really windy. So, pretty good. I'm happier with it now. I mean, I might not even touch the fueling, to be honest. I might run this for a couple of loads. So, it's looking like this is going to be a consistent run for a while. So this is a decent, really long grade. I'm at like 29, 30 pounds, 212 on the coolant temp, and then 1220 on the EGT. So we're actually pulling this grade decently. We're not making a super amount of like acceleration, but these corners are what's killing it with the rain and the ice. Trying to be careful of that. So it's like 62 miles an hour right now. We're at 61, but aside from the corners, it's doing pretty well. Like, it's holding its own. And mind you, I'm in 6th gear, 1700 RPMs in 6th gear. Trailer's about 10,000 pounds, but it's also a big sail back there. So mind you, I'm doing this in 6th gear with 35-inch tires, and it's doing it. So the 12, I'm gonna say this now, the 12 valve handles this and the bigger tires a lot better than my 24 valve did on stock tires. I'd be crawling right now with the 24 valve. So I decided to downshift just for shits and giggles. And I'm at 2300 RPM, 2250. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna start accelerating. And I actually lost speed because I downshifted. Like, see, my EGTs just go out of control when I'm in 5th gear with higher RPMs. So I think I'm gonna attribute that to the really small exhaust housing. I think it was a 9-centimeter exhaust housing. So I think that's why at higher RPMs. But at the lower RPMs, this thing just chugs. Like, I'm gonna shift into 6th right now, even though I'm struggling, technically. Shift into 6th, and already we're accelerating. And EGTs are climbing a little bit, but now, all right, so EGTs are back in check, and we just gained 3 miles an hour by shifting going up this grade. So 6th gear definitely has a lot more power at the lower RPMs. 213 on the coolant temp. Here's a decent grade. This will probably be the last one I film, but we're doing 73 at 1,000 on the EGTs. Some grades, I mean, it'll get down to 55 on certain grades, and then I'll downshift, but this thing I put it at like 1400 RPMs before I'll downshift. Like, here you go. Now this one's a little bit steeper, and I let it get down to 65 for some reason. So now we're just gonna chug right along at 1700 RPMs, 63 mile an hour. Just gonna let it chug right along. Not gonna force it. 1650, 1630, 1600. So 60 miles an hour is 1600 RPMs. As our first time. So let's see how this goes. Alright, so we're about to drop off. I might do a walk around on the trailer and everything, but decent job. Truck is dialed in. I'm super happy with that. Didn't go through too much fuel this time, actually. With getting it dialed in, I think we did bump our mileage up pretty good, because I think I've only filled up like 4 or 5 times total the whole trip. So that's awesome. I'm happy, super happy, super happy. I may or may not have forgotten to put the paperwork in the last unit. So luckily we have a bunch of loads coming to this place. I'm gonna go drop that off in that unit if it's still here. If it's not, I'm gonna have to mail it, but hopefully hopefully it is here. What do I need?
Just your paperwork.
Well, this turned into a big clusterfuck. All right, we're gonna, oh, I see where we're gonna put them. See how easy it is to swing this motherfucker in. Alright, got her. Alright, well, trailer's dropped. I forgot to do a walk around over it. We're kind of like rushing through here because I forgot to put that paperwork in a unit last time, and it's almost their closing time. So we're trying to get this in and done as quick as possible. So I showed you guys what it looked like before when it was clean. Now it's filthy. So hopefully we can go, hopefully this other unit's there, because I want to drop this paperwork off. Alright, so after all that, I got everything dropped off for the last unit and this unit. Now I'm gonna head home, edit this video for you guys. Now, I can only edit when I go home because I don't have an inverter yet, but we're gonna dial in the boost while we're driving. I think it's pretty good towing. I think I'm gonna leave it where it's at. But I wanna see what it'll actually get up to, like if I'm hammering on it, and then that's gonna be it, because I don't usually try to beat on the truck. All right, so it looks like it just goes to like 32 when I like floor it. So I might dial that up a little bit. Maybe for the next video. I'm gonna play with it for a while, but I might dial that up a little bit. 32 PSI. I feel like we can get 35 out of it. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments what you think. It's an HE341, which personally I'm liking a little bit more than the 351 because it brought my power level down. Like I have more torque and more oomph at the low end, but it cuts up top. So it's like, I don't know, I kind of like having the more torque down below. You guys let me know what you think. Should I up the boost or should I leave it alone? Because it runs fucking good right now. I might give her a quarter turn. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget like, subscribe, you know, all the bullshit everybody tells you to do. You do, you don't, you don't. I appreciate you guys either way. So, take care guys, safe travels, have a good one.